Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Pointless Void. It's been a little bit of time. Carter and I are not in the same location. We are actually across the country from each other, but we're still
That's kind of weird to think
podcasting,
about.
still getting it done. It's been over a month. Have we done anything in the month of May?
Oh, no, I don't think we did anything in the month of May.
Yes, we kind of just missed the month of May because we were finishing school out, we were moving, we were getting in, starting new jobs, all stuff like that. But
Yep.
we're back now. I see you copied my look. I see the beard coming in.
Oh yeah, no, I love it so much. So I was like, let's see how far I can go with it. Although I don't like my color as much as I like yours, actually. I like your
Uh,
darker color.
is your hair more brown or blonde in the beard?
More, more blonde
Mm. Yeah,
than
I don't know
brown.
why the heck mine is red. And speaking of, like, you can actually see me because this is our first ever video version of the Pointless Void. So that's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Um, we're a country away from each, not a country, a whole, yeah, we're a whole countries away from each
Yeah,
other.
whole country.
I'm almost on the West Coast. You're on the East Coast.
Yep.
And
Like bottom
this
East
is when I
Coast as
decide,
well,
hey,
which
let's
is
do a
funny.
video version when we're a country away from
Yeah.
each other. But it's
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way.
yeah, literally I didn't know how I could have done it. Well, we have done a video version before, but it wasn't that good. And
Yeah.
I just had two cameras in the room and I had to like edit it, but I figured out a way that I won't have to edit it and it will look better. And I figured that out right before we left. So anyway, we're a
Yeah.
country away and that's when we decided to do
We've
video version.
also we've also done a remote one before, but that one also didn't turn out well. Well,
It was
yeah, no,
okay.
the audio wasn't great. Yeah, but this one has great hopes.
Hmm.
We figured it out. We've
Yeah. I mean, before we start talking about the movie, I just kind of want to talk to you for a bit because I haven't talked to you. Well, I talked to you one time, but then everyone stole my phone and was talking to
yeah.
you. Um, so how is if you guys don't know, Carter is working at Disney World right now. How is that?
It's good. It's a lot of work. I have about 53 hours a week
Oh,
um at work, and it's all on your feet. Like I just finished two 12-hour shifts, which has been
you did
a
today?
nightmare. No, not today. So today's my day off, and yesterday's my day off. So I worked all of last week,
Mm-hmm.
but then Sunday and Monday were both 12-hour shifts. And then
Oh,
I got the day off. And then tomorrow I have another 12-hour shift.
that's fun. When I used to work for before COVID, I worked for the Salt Lake City airport. And I don't know if I've told you this story before, but I had to work two double shifts a week, which meant I had to work
Wow.
literally I had to work an 8 hour day. And then right after that 8 hour day was over, I had to work a second 8 hour day. So I was working a 16 hour day. So I would wake up because my shift started at 3 in the morning and I would work until 9 at night. So I would literally I worked for like three
Right.
hours before the sun rose. And then I was there a couple hours after the sun set. And
You're kidding.
yeah, and I had to do that
That okay.
twice a week. And there was one guy,
That would suck.
who did just because he wanted to. He was doing four double shifts, and he had one half day. And what it meant by his half day was he worked 8 hours that day. That was his half day.
Man, yeah, no, I have nothing
Yeah.
compared to that. I work at one of the QSRs, which is one of the quick service restaurants. And so, fun fact actually with this one, I didn't know this was real, but Disney has two of like the highest grossing restaurants in the world.
Really?
Um, Pecos Bill's Cafe, which is the one I work at, and then Cosmic Rewind, which is in Tomorrowland. I'm in Frontierland, and we make more money than them because our stuff is a little more expensive. But Cosmic Rays gets more people and just make a little less money. So like, it's like two of the leading like restaurants in the world for like making money, just because of how many people are at Disney World, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like good food. Like, it's not like bad, but it's not like I
Yeah.
wouldn't think of it being the most number one restaurant in the world.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I mean?
that's actually really interesting. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously Disney World gets a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
But so you're just working in a restaurant?
Yeah, that's literally it. Like, but with it entails like a lot of jobs. So I thought like when I got the job, it said I was going to be a host, right? And so
Hmm.
that's what I was expecting. I was expecting to kind of be a host, but it is not that. In fact, I don't think we don't even have a host. They just call it the host hostess job. I can work counter. And so it's like a QSR, so it's quick service. And
Mm.
so it's kind of like Cafe Rio a little bit. Not quite, but kind of. Just with how fast it is, it's like quick dining, but I also wouldn't call it like McDonald's.
I think Cafe Rio might be a Western United States thing. I might be wrong about that, but Chipotle
Oh,
is
it
that
is
is that more
west of the
broad?
Mississippi. Chipotle. Yep.
Chipotle is more
That's
broad,
in the
yeah,
east.
like a Chipotle thing.
Yeah, like a Chipotle thing. Exactly. And so it's kind of like that, where it's like casual fast food
Mm.
or casual dining, whatever it is. And so I can work a counter, which is where I fill orders, not the food. I get the food from the window. I fill it with drinks and all like the sides and give it to them right on the counter. I can work trash. I can work busing. I can work lobby greeter. I can work um, the person who brings like the food from the kitchen into the counters. I can be a stalker. I can be work at a whole different restaurant called Tortugas, which is in Adventureland, just right across the street. I'm also trained there, and so there's like 9 or 10 jobs I get. And while I'm there, they switch you off like every 2 hours so you don't get bored. And so I'll take a job for like 2 hours, usually 2 to 4 hours, and then switch. And they'll come and be like, "Hey, now go work this," and it'll
Mm.
happen like 3 or 4 times. One time within an hour, I had 3 separate jobs because they didn't realize what was going on. And they just kept throwing me places. They're like, "Hey, now go here." I'm like, "Okay." And then literally like 10 minutes later, someone would come in and be like, "Hey, go here." I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
Like, yeah. And so it's very different than I was expecting, but it's still
That's
good.
yeah. I mean they call it an internship. I mean you get paid, but like it's like a lot of college students doing this work.
Oh, yeah. There's tons. I think like, so there's two sets of housing, Flamingo West and Flamingo East. And I think like in the east side, I think they have like 400 people living here. And then on West, they have like six, 700. And it's all
Oh,
college students living inside this like huge dorm. And I don't want to lie, like it's expensive to stay here. They take it out of your paycheck. A lot of it's for the experience. You don't make a lot of money. A lot of it's for experience, be able to put on a resume. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, it's a very nice thing to be able to, put on. But it's nice. I mean, the place is beautiful. I mean, you're in Orlando. You're technically on Disney World property. So,
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit like I've seen like some pictures you've taken. I'm like, oh, that would be so fun. Like, because I'm just stuck here. Not stuck. I mean, I have a life, but like I'm
yeah,
working.
but yeah,
I'm working construction, which is fine. Like
uh-huh.
I like construction. It's fun, but it's just kind of like a job.
Yeah,
And I just come home. I'm living with my parents for the summer and stuff like that, and it kind of
right.
don't have any friends
That's
here really.
uh-huh. No, I
But
get that. That's my next summer. That's what I'm doing because I won't do this twice.
because you
One
just
time
can't
is good
make enough
enough.
money twice.
Yeah, I need to be able to make money one time. So,
Hmm.
I'll do construction in Montana. That's my plan. No,
That is a good plan. Montana.
yeah.
Okay, so we could write a movie about a person in Disney World. I'm sure there's a lot going on there.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes, there's quite a bit. Like, what's funny is, first off, and I don't think it's really anything here. There is so much drama amongst the cast members at Disney,
really?
which I'm pretty sure people are aware of. I mean, like, I will say this, cast members at Disney are great at their job. Like, when it comes to like interacting with guests,
Do they call
they're
you a
all
cast
amazing.
member?
Like, yeah, so they call us cast members, and so we can't say our work or our job. We say, "Where are you making magic? Where are
I
you?"
hate crap like that.
I
Like, just shut up, dude.
it's I know we had initiatories for 9 hours one day, and I'm like, okay, it was cool for like 2 hours, but then afterwards, I'm like, this is like getting on my nerves. I'm like, I get it, be nice to get like. There's a whole set of like not HR that I'm expecting. It's customer service. There's a whole set of customer service that I've never experienced at any other restaurant here. Like we can't lean on stuff. We can't. They like if we they see us standing around, they have like 5 coordinators walking the place, and they're like, "Hey, make sure you're walking about." Like part of our job description is like you're supposed to take out trash and talk to the guests. You're supposed to make food and greet guests and talk to them. And we can't call them customers. We have to call them guests. Um, like there's a whole set of customer service that I was like not prepared for. It's not because like I'm not like a mean person when I'm working, but it's a whole other set. Like I'd be like, "Hey guys, how you doing? Great. How are you?" Like during my training, like classic conversation at the end, my trainer's like, "Hey, that's not good enough." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And it's like, and the guy comes up to me like, "You just got to be extra. Like you have to like think of what you're going to do, then add one more thing to it that you can do, whatever it is." And I'm like, interesting. Okay. So that part's been the hardest, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, I don't know if I could do that job. Like I want to be an entertainer. Like, it's not that part that's hard to me. Like, I can be outgoing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I am not a Disney adult. I do not consider myself that. So, like, I couldn't get into it. I'm like, it's just a stupid theme park. No one gives a crap. Like, it's, you know what I mean? That's the part I couldn't get over. It's just like, I'm not calling it go where I'm making magic.
Yeah.
I'm working at a
That
restaurant.
part's a little hard for me. And you see, that's part of it is even a little hard for me. And I would consider myself a pretty Disney adult. Like, I love Disneyland. Like, I love Disney World. Like, I would consider myself not as much as some people here. I swear, some people here.
Yeah, we have a whole Pointless Boyd Productions owns a whole Disney podcast.
That's right.
And
yeah.
Emily, who's the main host on that, is a huge Disney adult. More than I've ever met, to be honest.
There are tons of Emily's here. It's insane.
Oh,
Nothing against Emily. We
bet.
love Emily. It's just she's in a Disney adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, go check out Pixie Duster's podcast on the Pointless Void Productions Network. That's what you call it. Yeah.
Pointless Void Productions Network. And so, yeah, I mean, it's good. But there's some people here that literally have never. One of my good friends named, he has never seen like a Disney movie.
I mean,
and I'm like, what?
If you didn't watch him as a kid, if you didn't watch him as a kid, they wouldn't be like nostalgic to you, so you wouldn't go back and watch them.
Yeah. He's never seen Star Wars. He's never seen Marvel. He's never seen he's never seen anything Disney owns.
I mean, that's pretty impressive by seeing how much Disney owns, but I mean, I guess.
Yeah, no, and so finally, he's like, this is kind of growing on me a little bit. He goes, he's a lifeguard, and he's like, yeah, this is kind of growing on me. I kind of like it. He goes, I won't admit it to anybody, but it's. He goes, I'm kind of like, there's something special about it, but no, some of the people here, like, they're like, how did you decide to come here? They ask us, and he's like, dude, he goes, I was high when I decided to apply for this place. I did not think I was gonna get it. That's like 70. That's like literally like 70 or 60% of the people here. They're like, I just kind of did it as a joke. I didn't think I was actually gonna get in here.
That's funny. A whole bunch of people are way too into it. The other people are like, I don't know how I got here.
Yeah, exactly. One of the dude before me in our room, he literally came for the first week, skipped everything he was supposed to go to, just partied, and then got termed. And he's like, terming is when you get like fired, right? You get termed.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, I just came here to party for a week and just pay $180 just for housing, and that's it. And everyone's like, I
mean, kind of legendary. He gets to live at Disney World, pay $180 for housing,
and this place is pretty sweet. I mean, Flamingo Crossing. I mean, that's just everyone knows that's where the DC Disney College program that we call them the DCP. That's where, like, it's known that's where the DCP lives, is in the sector of Walt Disney World. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of sick. I mean, you have like 800 college students living together within like a block radius.
Yeah, for sure.
In Florida. Like, it is how it sounds. I won't lie.
Sounds kind of fire. So since we've spent this much time talking about it, let's just write a movie about a person in the what did you call it? DCP?
DCP. Yep.
I feel like that could be a weirdly good movie in a way, like talking about the conspiracies. Like they find out that some of this stuff is real, like Walt Disney's head is frozen under there, and like
Oh, we talk about that all the time.
yeah,
Literally, we're
what are the
always like, "Where's Walt's
conspiracies?
head?"
What are the conspiracies at Disney World that we could add into this film?
Okay, Walt Disney's head is a big one.
Yeah, yeah,
Another really cool thing is the tunnels. Okay, the tunnels under Walt Disney World are legit. Um,
yeah.
although
They
they're
actually
only
have those
under
at our
Magic Kingdom.
college. All of our the buildings in our college are connected. Did you know that?
I heard about that.
I thought it
Yeah,
wasn't real,
which
and
is
so
kind of
I thought it was like a joke. And then, but then someone's like, "No, this is like actually legit." And it was like an actual professor,
so.
and he
Yeah,
does. So to be honest, I'm not 100% sure because the professor could have also been lying. But like the way he said it, I was like,
right.
I kind of believe you. Like the way he said it, it felt like he wasn't lying. So I could
Yeah.
again, this might not be real, but from as far as I know, at this moment in time, our college has that.
Okay, because I was gonna say I heard about those rumors too, that there were um those tunnels underneath.
But Disney
So
World
yeah, the
does
tunnels are
100%
legit.
have them.
They only have them in Magic Kingdom. Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Hollywood Studios does not have them.
Okay.
Only Magic Kingdom. I take them every day. I have to walk through them. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. And so there's that conspiracy. Walt's head. Now here's the thing though. It's not Walt's head, it's Walt's body.
Yeah, his full body. Yeah.
We believe his whole body. And there's a lot of funny jokes about where it is. Some have said, oh, it's in the middle of the tunnels. They just have it up as a shrine. Some say that it's in where you meet Mickey. There's this little bait. There's Scrooge McDuck's they have it kind of as like a prop, his safe opening. And some say that it's in there.
Okay.
Some joke that they like covered it in bronze and it's the Walt Disney statue in the middle of the park.
That's the one I've seen. Yeah. They like that's actually
with
him.
with
Is he's just
yeah,
covered in
and they're like
bronze?
and they're joking. They're like, yeah, no, mouses also used to be really big back then because that's legit too.
Mm.
They're like, that's just changing time and we don't talk about it much. So that's one of them is Walt Disney's body. I'm trying to think of others. I wish Emily was here because Emily probably knows more than I do.
Yo, what if we called her?
Yeah, literally be like, hey, what are some Walt Disney conspiracies?
I mean, I do follow
Disney
her
World
on, or
conspiracy
she is my friend on Discord. We could add her to this call. No,
That's
well, let's
true.
not do that. But because she'd get way too into Disney. But
Yeah. We wouldn't even make a movie. We would just talk about Disney,
yeah, yeah,
which is for the pixie dusters to do.
yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. Okay, I want to think of any more about Magic Kingdom. Okay, so this is really funny. Now, this isn't a conspiracy, but I think this would be hilarious to see. Um, the people who dress up as characters,
Okay.
they eat with us. Like they're in the hallways and they're in the tunnels with us, and they're out of character. Like what I would love to see is like someone play like have this like this scene where they're playing like Cinderella because I was sitting at the Mascateria, which is the cafeteria for cast members,
Uh-huh.
and I was waiting for my meal, and I turned to the right of me, and I'm like, "Yo," I'm like, "This is Cinderella. Like Cinderella's sitting right here," and so and she's just on her phone, just chilling, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I thought that was kind of strange, like you know what I mean? Like it was just like a wow, you know what I mean? Like I guess I'm at Disney World. Um, but I think it'd be really funny is to like have a scene where they're like, out and about and then they come back and like they're actually just like grumps and they're just like like just pouring down alcohol, like smoke, like they have one of those smoke
Yeah,
breaks and they're
yeah.
like, this is my
That
pixie dust.
or that or like
That's a
Mickey
lot of jokes that
Mouse
we
or
have.
like Mickey Mouse comes back, he takes off his Mickey Mouse head and he has a smaller real life Mickey Mouse head. Like he actually is Mickey Mouse, but he wears a costume to like talk to the kids. But then he takes it off and they like,
That,
I don't know, lock him in a cage or something.
that would be so funny, actually. That would be awesome. Um,
Except Mickey Mouse wouldn't be the one locked in the cage. He'd be the one locking everyone in the cage. Mickey Mouse is
exactly.
the
Yeah, he's our boss man.
ruthless boss man.
So
So
we
that could
always
be
joke about
because that would be
Like,
kind of
whenever we
the
see Mickey on.
that wouldn't be realistic. That would be the like weird thing about the movie, like the underground of
Oh yeah,
The
right.
problem is
That
we
would be
could
like
never make this
some
movie.
odd
This
things.
would be
Oh yeah,
impossible to make because all the IP is owned by Disney, which means it's impossible to use. And then
oh
also
yeah,
you couldn't get Disney to make this movie for you because you're like talking bad about them. So movie would never be made
yeah. This would
unless we did
not be
like a
possible.
knockoff, which it was like obvious that it was Disney, but it like was not.
But it technically wasn't.
Yeah, it was like they did a Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but they couldn't use the actual Five Nights at Freddy's characters, so they made new animatronics. It wasn't,
Oh yeah, no,
and Nicolas Cage was in that
I heard
movie.
about that.
Anyway, it would be something
We just
similar like
couldn't.
that. But this movie, this one's gonna be a
Yeah,
garbage one. We're not actually gonna try to make this one.
yeah. It would just be. It's just for the fun talks.
Yeah. So should our character be like really into the program, or should she just be another one of these that was high when she signed up, or he,
That's
or
a good question.
or they?
So let's see. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. This isn't stereotyping, but all the women here, when they apply, everyone I've met, all the
Mhm.
women I've met, are Disney adults.
Okay.
They all love Disney. Some are more than others, but they all love Disney at least. So all of them tried getting in. Now the men, half of the men here were high when they applied.
That's interesting.
So if it's someone who's like legit into it, I say we have it a woman
Okay.
because they're like statistically speaking, they're the ones that are more like Disney adults here
Mm-hmm.
with like literally like almost every other guy is a Disney adult. Now in the end, we all love Disney, but like yeah, no, only like every other guy is like an actual Disney adult.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So either yeah. I feel like it should be someone who's like really into Disney and she's finding out that it's like screwed up. I feel like that's what it should be. Like
Yeah,
Disney is like so magical to her. It's like, and then she finds out that there's all these like evil things going on. Like that they have like, I don't know. I don't know how dark we want to go, but,
I think it would be funny to paint like
just go
just make
so
it
dark. Like they have literal like
not
slaves like
just
cranking like stuff that's running like you see like a slave like cranking this giant thing, and then you
uh-huh.
see all this stuff go up, and it's just like a pretzel like a pretzel thing, and it's just spinning really slowly. Like
Yeah,
where you
like
buy a
it's
pretzel.
like
Do you
it
even
keeps
buy
going
pretzels at
apart.
Disney? What do you buy at Disney? What's like the turkey legs? The what's like a famous
Turkey
Disney?
legs are huge. Okay, pretzels are big here. Actually, they have Mickey Mouse
Okay,
pretzels. We make them in our store. Um, those are big. The turkey legs are the biggest,
yeah.
and then the pineapple Dole Whips are, of course, huge.
Okay. So I was just imagining like a display case where these are spinning around and it's just being run by this like giant wheel of like a whole bunch of like these slaves of, but they wouldn't be human. They'd be like the dwarves from Snow White or something, because all of the characters that they've created are
Yes.
real, but they can't be out in the open. So they're slaves for Disney World. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
gosh, yes. And they
because
find out like in
because
the
Goofy can't
movies,
just be like Goofy's real. He really exists. He's a real life character that's in these films. He was recorded. But he can't just be walking around like going to Walmart and stuff because then people would know. So he has to be locked up
exactly.
in Disney World, and he comes out and takes pictures with people in a costume, but he's not but yeah, you know what I mean. So that's what
Yeah.
I mean by the slaves, because I don't want to put like actual humans, because that would be dark.
Yeah.
That could be funny, but not funny. That could be super dark and interesting.
Scary. Yeah, it
Scary.
could go well, but it also could very not go well.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And like I would love it like they take off their helmet, like and they always have it smiling, right? With like the not the animatronics, like the animated characters as they dress
Hmm.
up, right?
And that's why they have
Goofy,
to dress
Pluto,
up, is because
Mickey.
they're always like sad and frowning and crying. So they have to
Yeah,
put on the
they're just
happy version.
crying. Like they take it off and it's just I don't know why I'm laughing because it really
It
wouldn't be
is.
funny. But
It's so
like
bad that
they
it's
take,
funny.
they
Because
take it off and it's just like tears rolling down their face.
this is so sad. This is so bad. Emily would hate this.
This is Emily would hate this. I want everyone to know that we're totally like joking. Disney's not like this. Disney's
But it
actually a
is.
pretty good, like how they treat us. Like they're pretty good. Um, it's all there's no slavery.
Yeah, but you're human, dog. You're not in the movies. You don't know about all the underbelly.
Exactly. Exactly. That's where it is.
But this girl finds it out.
I've yeah.
Okay, so scene one in this movie, our Disney adult girl, she's dreamed about working at Disneyland her whole life. Where does she live? She's got to live somewhere like kind of remote and kind of boring, so that
I think it would be cool as
Disneyland is her
Kansas.
like.
I say she could live in Kansas City because that's technically where Walt's from. Like, there's
Okay,
nothing there for Walt, but it's where he's from. Is Kansas City.
so that could kind of be an homage to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, fair enough. And Kansas
Taken
is
in
known for
Kansas,
being boring.
little small town. Yeah.
So yeah, she signs up for the program. I keep forgetting the name. DCP, right?
DCP.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yes,
DCP.
the DCP. She gets in.
She gets in. She what's something exciting that could happen, I guess, when she's traveling there? How are we gonna make this movie not just super sad and dark? Because
Let's
it'll get
see.
there. I feel like so many of
Yeah.
our movies we write end up being horror movies or like sad or
Yeah, like just like
murdery.
depressing.
Ugh,
It's dark. Hey, pointless void. It's darkness in the
it's
void.
true. The void is dark.
The void is dark. What like the Grimm's brothers.
Yeah, that's true. We have to write the
Void.
darkest story possible so that Disney can adapt it and make it
Yeah.
happy.
Eh, exactly. Actually, yeah. There you go.
That's kind of perfect. That's actually kind of perfect.
Yeah. We make some good comedies. I still love the Little Nas X one we did. Like I
Yo,
think that
I
would
kind of
be
want to make
such
a
funny
second
movie.
episode. I want to continue. I listened
Yeah.
to the Little Nas X video one again, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
we got some good stuff. And I was starting to think of so many ideas to add on. I think we should do a second episode
Right.
like we did with the horror movie.
We end up going to a lot of drama or horror stuff, but we're actually like our comedy ones that we come up with
Are
are
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
They're pretty good. And yeah, I kind of want to continue because it was a Western and that's kind of unique. But let's talk about this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So they get there. What's something that could be like big? You know what I mean? Or like not to make it as dark. She goes, a lot of people come here with their best friends actually. They like have like their house of four is
Mm.
all for people from childhood and they all applied and got in. So
Is
do
it
we
hard to
say
get
that she maybe
in?
comes with someone?
I mean, you
What?
got it. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't get in, but you live in on the Western United States and you got in. Like, is it easy to get in? Or is it hard to get in?
They have a 20% acceptance rate.
Oh, that's not
Um
good. Not very many people
yeah,
do get in.
but like yeah, no, all of us are like, I don't know how we made it in.
Yeah, how did you make it in? Just by chance? I
I
mean, like,
just
what did you do
applied,
to
like
earn it?
literally.
Did you do anything to earn it?
I think so. I think it's because I can speak a second language. I can speak Portuguese, and not too many people can speak Portuguese.
Okay.
And I mean, like, I'm like, 3.5 student. I haven't been the president of any clubs or anything, but like, I'm like a decent, resume. I've been working in restaurants since I was 14, so it's not like I'm bad, and I work hard. But like on paper, there's not a lot of things.
Yeah, that
You know what I
second
mean?
being bilingual probably was helpful.
But
For
being
sure.
bilingual, I think, was really helpful. So,
Okay, so what
like,
is
I know one person.
so this girl has to have been like working, like she's been doing everything just so she can get into this program. Like Disney, working at Disney is her dream, which I don't know why she would try to get in this program. She should just move to Orlando and just
Get a job somewhere
get a
else and then
job.
use that money to go to Disney.
Well, either to go to Disney or to just work at Disney. Like lots of people work at Disney that aren't part of this program.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they get a lot better benefits and hours. Like a lot better.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
Uh,
But maybe she's
and so
not smart enough to do that, so she's just trying her whole
yeah,
life to get in this program.
she just heard of DCP since a kid and she's like, I'm gonna do DCP, right? Maybe she's still in college. Maybe she's planning to go back to
Yeah,
another
she'll
year,
probably end up
right?
working. Well, she won't after she sees this, but after
Yeah,
she sees the truth. But she's planning to do this and then graduate college and then go work at Disney World or Disneyland.
exactly. Which
What
is
do,
a lot of people's here's plans actually. I've met many who have done that. And so they're like, that's our goal. And it's very funny because we call it, we say a joke, but it's actually not that. We call it the brainwashing ceremony. You get this night. I talked about it earlier called initiatories.
uh-huh.
I'm sorry, traditions, not initiatories, traditions. It's like a 9-hour session about the company where we learn about everything.
9 hours just
Right?
like learning about Disney. I'm not going to go that dark.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not going to say
so
what I would do.
the first, we split it between 2 days, 4 hours one day, 4.5 hours the other day, right? And so the first 4 hours was actually interesting. You just learn about Walt Disney. Everything's about Walt, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Mickey comes in. I think I can say this. Mickey comes in and gives you your name tag. And so
That being that Mickey would be so like, it's like, oh, I have to pretend to be Mickey to give it to the employees. I feel
yeah,
like the people that play, I mean, I'm sure these guys love Disney. They love it, but
oh yeah,
some of them have got to
people
be
who play
grumpy
the
about it.
characters. Okay, I actually quick side story, real quickly. Just not a side story, just a thing. Now, a lot of the characters that are played are amazing, but the best one is Captain Jack Sparrow. That guy is
Oh, yeah.
dedicated to his. He is dedicated to his craft, and there's a
He's
lot of
gotta
videos
be.
of him actually on
Is he like
YouTube already.
it's him. Like he's always Jack Sparrow until he leaves and some new person gets hired. Like
I
if he
think they
doesn't
have
show up
two.
to work, there's no Jack Sparrow that day. There's two, you said.
I think they have a backup one. I do think they have two, but there's one in particular, like the main one, who is super cool. From what I've heard, and he walks through my break room all the time because I'm in Adventureland in Tortuga, which is his area.
Mm.
And so he walks through all the time, and he looks just like him. And
Really?
he even acts like him a little bit for us. You know, he tries to stay just for us, just to get us like.
It's probably
you know,
just so he doesn't.
physical. He's like, oh,
He probably
it's not
does
me.
that all
Yeah,
day just so
exactly.
he doesn't fall out of character.
Yeah, and so he's known as the cast members to being like one of the coolest guys for that one. So some love it, but he's very funny.
I mean, he's more Jack Sparrow than Johnny Depp at this point. Johnny Depp got fired from being Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he got fired
That's the
on
whole Amber Heard.
Yeah, well, because he got accused of domestic abuse. I've been following the trial a bit, but I don't know how it ended.
Funny. He just won today.
He did win today.
Yeah.
So I mean, he wrongfully lost the job, I guess. Then, according to the court.
Yeah.
But he did, in fact, lose it. Plus, I feel like they should make a Pirates movie without him. I feel like the Pirates franchise is super compelling without. I mean, obviously Jack Sparrow's a big part of why it's successful.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But like, there's a lot of compelling things in a Pirates film that you don't need Jack Sparrow. You can make a movie without him. Like he's just a comic relief, really.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he's the best one there is. I love him in the Pirates franchise, but like it's like Darth Vader in Star Wars. Darth Vader is one of the best, but you know, you make like the Star Wars universe is so compelling that you don't need Darth Vader in it, right?
Uh-huh.
Like they make so many movies that Darth Vader's not even a part of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's still great stuff. It doesn't need to be within the Skywalker saga to be a good movie within that universe or a good series.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jack Sparrow guy, I've seen these videos, like because of the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial going on, like I've seen a ton of people doing TikToks where they're like running, like doing the Jack Sparrow run.
We do that in the park all the time.
Yeah. And I saw someone do one where like, I'm going to do the Jack Sparrow run in Disney World until I find Jack Sparrow. And then she ran around with him. That does feel like a fun job. Like you're just working in a restaurant, but he just gets to pretend to be Jack Sparrow all day.
Right? I think he has a fun time with it.
What if they get paid?
Person, you know what I mean?
Are they paid well?
I heard they get paid $30 an hour.
I mean, yeah, that's all right. It's for an acting job. That's fine. I mean, obviously it's not movie making or Broadway making actors, but for just kind of chilling
being
and
like, a character at Disney, that's not terrible.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. What's the name of our
So they have traditions the first 9 hours, and we joke of it, calling it the brainwashing session.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, this is where you get brainwashed into loving Disney.
But in this movie, it's legitimately a brainwashing session. It's not a joke.
What'd you say?
In this movie, it's a legitimate brainwashing session. That's like, you guys joke about it, but you're not actually joking because it's actually the truth.
Yeah. Like in this movie, it's legit, right? She starts noticing things are a little weird. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. That's the name of her, Emily. Her name's Emily.
Yes,
Her name is
Emily.
Emily, and yeah. I'm gonna have to ask Emily's permission to, because I think in the edited version of this podcast, I'll put like a picture of the podcast, like her podcast, Pixie Dusters, and then I might put a picture of her every time we talk about Emily, the character that we just created. That's gonna. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask her permission because we're gonna probably do some crazy things to this character. But for now, it's Emily.
Yes.
If I don't get permission,
Definitely.
You'll be hearing bleeps constantly and you won't know the person's name.
And it's up to you to decide what the person's name is.
It's up to you to decide what her name is.
That'd be so funny.
Okay, so Emily shows up at Disney World. So was the brainwashing session very first?
Yeah, it was like the very first thing you got paid for.
Okay. And what do they do in the real one, and how could we make that creepier?
Okay, so in the real one, it's not creepy at all. They have 2 cast members come in and they talk about the Disney's code of conduct, what they expect, the Disney look, appearance. They talk about there's different 5 keys: inclusion, efficiency, show. I can't think of the other 2. Safety, and there's like one other. I can't remember what it is. And they talk about all 5 of those and how we can apply them into our separate roles. And then they talk about the safety stuff, what we do if there's a fire, what we do if there's an active shooter, how to handle food, how to wash your hands. Like, it's just, and then of course, like the first 4 hours, you just talk about Walt Disney. Really, that's like what you do. You talk about everything Walt. And then you talk about the company.
Walt 100% was trying to start a cult. Why? Even after he's dead, Walt Disney was 100% trying to start a cult. Why the heck is there like a whole session where it's like, let's learn about our dead creator? Like, who gives a crap about Walt? He's dead. He's been long freaking dead. Who gives a crap? He just made a company. Like, when you go work at Apple, it's not like, here's our session where we talk about Steve Jobs for an hour. It's like, Steve Jobs is like
they would though.
Steve Jobs is cool, but he's also just a dude who started a company. Like, do the company.
Yeah.
And like, what's like a better example than just Steve Jobs? What's like more relevant?
Yeah.
To
Bill Gates.
No, like I'm trying to think of someone who would have. Yeah. Well, George. Yeah.
Oh. No, it would be if you joined Marvel and started learning about Stan Lee. Like, and you just
they just constantly talked about Stan Lee. It's like, okay, cool. But it's literally just a.
Yeah, like, and maybe the brain session worked because I love Walt. So I actually found that very interesting.
You were genuinely. Well, no, it's fine. You can learn about Walt. It's just kind of a weird thing that, like, why does it matter? He's just a business guy.
No. Yeah.
He was creative. He had some good ideas. He created a company that lots of people love, but he's also just a business guy.
Right.
Only a true narcissist would make all of his employees for all time, even after his death, learn about him.
Right. Although I will say, I don't think that was him. Like, but it would be funny. Like, no, in our show though, that's what it's going to be.
No, in our show, that's got to be what it is. It's like in his will. It's like, you will tell everyone about me for all time.
Yeah, for all time, you will. Everyone will know my name.
And there's people. And there's like the elite, the high people, the people that are high up in Disney World's corporate. Like, you have to like kiss the feet of Walt's bronze statue, like stuff like weird stuff like that.
At 5 a.m. each morning, everybody comes in and kisses the bronze statue.
Yeah, like everyone, not even just the high up people. But no one knows about that because they like give you NDAs and stuff, and they brainwash you, so they don't even need NDAs. How is she gonna not get brainwashed? Like, she's so excited she passes out, and so she's not there for the brainwashing because she's like passed out or something like that.
Like, what if that has something to do with the name tag? Because you put on the name tag right when they give it to you.
Oh, but why would hers be hers should be like not working for some reason.
Yeah.
She's crying
It's just
so
like
much that it like
dumpling.
fries it. She's crying.
Oh yeah. What if she like almost, or what if she like spills water on it? Like, she's like taking a drink, like, or like something. She like, because you have your water bottle and everything with you in there. Like like they tell you to bring a lot of snacks and a lot of drinks.
Mm.
And it could be that.
That would be kind of boring though. I just feel like because she's basically the biggest Disney adult that's ever existed. And so like the second
she's
the
crying and
brainwashing
it
session
fries it.
starts, she's like crying so much. Like I have a cousin.
A lot of people did cry. Like,
I have a cousin who's a
lot of people next
huge.
to me were like bawling.
Yes, I have a friend who's a huge Paul McCartney fan, or not a Paul McCartney fan, but a Beatles fan. And a few years ago, they went to
Nice.
go see Paul McCartney in concert, which is a big deal. Like, I would be excited to see Paul McCartney in
Yeah.
concert. But she didn't expect this. When Paul McCartney walks on a stage, she bursts into tears. And there's video of her, like,
Really?
just, like, bawling and, like, freaking out and crying. So, and then she went to Paul McCartney again, like, 3 days ago. She's in Florida right now, actually. She's actually in Disney World, like, yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so she went to Paul McCartney again. And so the second time she saw Paul McCartney, he comes on a stage and she starts bawling uncontrollably again. So like this girl who's like so into Disney, I feel like that's what causes, she like fries her name tag. It's supposed to brainwash her in some way.
Yeah.
And so everyone else
it
is
fries
brainwashed
it
and they're just
really
totally
weird.
chill, like waking up early and kissing. But she's like, wait, this is kind of weird. This is kind of cultish. Like,
Yeah, they start doing some things that she's like, this doesn't make sense. And then she gets to the tunnels her first day. And she like,
and everyone else, like, because
and-
of their name tag, they just walk past all this crazy crap going on. But she's like actually seeing it because she's not brainwashed. I feel like that's
and
what
like
it's got to
they
be.
get back. It would be kind of cool is that when they take it off, like their memories are different, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Their memory is just
that
like literally
possible?
just
So, like-
working. Like for
Yeah.
example, like I'm asking you these questions and you're like answering them like because you had a fake experience. I mean, obviously you had a real experience. This is a fake movie, but like
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
how it would
but,
be. Like if
it's
you had a
like fake
conversation with
one.
someone else, you're like, yeah, I just worked at the restaurant, whatever, and like you would just tell regular stories, and your memory would be changed. But like you're actually doing
Exactly.
like weird like slave crap, and
Right.
if
And
any
so
company would
she's
do this, it would
noticing
be
all of
Disney.
this.
That's the thing. Obviously, this isn't real,
What'd you
but I said if any company would do this, it would be Disney. No other obviously
Oh.
I'm joking, it's not real, but like no other company is this like has this dedicated of fans that they could pull it off.
Oh yeah, no one could. It's like they would never, but like if it did, if anyone could, it would be. It could only be Disney.
Yeah.
It's really funny. But they do that. They kiss the feet, and she's just noticing things are weird. And then another thing could be like they get home from work, and she's like, "Yo, that like was hard. This and this and this." And she's like, and the rest of her workers could like tell them like what happened during the day. Be like, "Hey, remember this and this and this." And it turns out like it's not anything like work was.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like they give off like there's some things that are similar, but there are other things that when like bad things happened, like there could be bad things that happened at work that she remembers it, and the rest of them remember something different where it may be good or maybe just be not as bad. You know what I mean? And they're like, what do you mean? Like that didn't happen.
Yeah. So she feels like
You know
she's
what I
getting
mean?
gaslit, but actually everyone else is the one
Gaslight.
getting gaslit.
They're being gaslighting.
Have you ever seen the movie Gaslight?
I have not.
I need to watch.
literally
I haven't
just
seen
heard
that,
what
but I need to watch it because that's where the word came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in that movie,
I-
the I can't remember why, but the guy wanted to either kill his wife or just like get rid of her. And so he'd like dim the lights, and she'd be like, "Why are the lights dim?" And he's like, "The lights aren't dim." Like he would do things to the house, and then she would like talk about it, and he would like make her think she was literally a crazy person. So he would
yeah.
gaslit her, but the word didn't exist at that time, and so then now the word means gaslight to make someone think they're crazy.
I just heard what that meant because someone's like, "Are you gaslighting me?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I don't know what that is." And they're like, "You're making me think." I'm like, "Oh," and then they showed me. I'm like, "No, I'm not gaslighting you. I really am pretty sure that didn't happen."
I gaslight people all the time.
It's so funny.
Like Iowa's not real. I have
Oh
a
yeah,
friend.
Iowa.
I
Yeah,
have a friend, Allie,
Illinois.
who lived in Iowa for like a year and a half, and every time that is brought up, I'm like, Allie, like Iowa's not real. Like you know this, right? Like
The
it's
best
obviously
thing.
more than that. It's very elaborate. It's been going on for like a year. But yeah, I guess
The
like people
best
all
thing
the
was
time.
that PowerPoint.
Yeah, and then I did a PowerPoint about how Iowa's not real. But I'm not truly gaslighting her because I do it in a way that she knows it's a joke. Plus, I've even
It's like
told
a
her.
joke.
I've told
Yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
I had a conversation with her on Sunday, and we talked a bit about it. And anyway, I don't actually
Yeah,
gaslight her, but I jokingly gaslight
yeah, yeah.
people all the time.
Uh huh.
So anyway, she thinks they're gaslighting her, or they think she's gaslighting them. Anyway, it's
Hmm.
a whole thing. Um.
Right.
So what are some of these more crazy things that could happen other than just the kissing of the feet? Like, could there be weird things hidden? Like, what are some rides that they could hide a weird thing in? What's a big ride?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, there's definitely stuff. People pour. This is like real. People pour like their ashes and stuff into Pirates of the Caribbean all the time, like their
All
relatives'
over Pirates.
ashes.
Yeah,
And same with like
it
the Haunted
annoys the
Mansion and
people
like
who
all
run
over
that
the
ride
place.
so much. Oh yeah, and Haunted Mansion, of course. Those two are
Why are
big
people
ones that are
obsessed with
like,
Disney so much? It's just movies. They're just movies.
and the Matterhorn is another one.
They have that at Disney World as well. I guess everything at Disneyland is
Yeah,
at Disney
I
World.
they do not actually. They do not have Cars Land, or
That's in California. No, I don't know. I can't remember.
that's in California, not in Disney World.
Last time I went to Disneyland, Cars had not come out. It wasn't a movie yet.
Oh really?
So, yeah, no, it's been that long. I haven't been. I went
Wow.
as a child, and I've never been again.
Wow.
I went to Disneyland, not Disney World.
Disneyland is much better. I love Disneyland.
They hadn't acquired Star Wars at that time. They hadn't acquired Marvel at that time. Do they have any Marvel stuff
guessing
at Disney World or Disneyland yet?
Disneyland, yes, they have a whole Avengers campus. Okay, this is actually really funny. Fun fact: Disney World can't do anything with any superhero character that Universal Studios has at their park.
Yeah, everyone wants to see. Oh, which are who? Like a
Okay,
lot
so
of them.
Spider-Man, Hulk, Captain America,
Oh
all
shoot,
those people that they
the ones
have
everyone
at,
wants to see are at
yeah,
Universal.
Universal Studios has those rides, and they made a deal. They said that east of the Mississippi, they still use the Mississippi. They said everything east of the Mississippi, Disney cannot use at their parks. That's why the Adventure Campus is in California, because they couldn't do it at Disney World because of that.
Why is it east of the
Like,
Mississippi?
uh,
Because
that's what we say.
Universal Studios in California probably has those rides.
I don't.
I'm sure.
I
I think
have
they
no
do because
idea.
I don't know
They
anyone who's
must.
been to Universal Florida. I know people who've been to Universal California and they've been on like the Hulk ride and stuff. So they exist in California, but it's like it's a weird like contract thing where it's literally east of the Mississippi because it's super old or something.
Yeah, that's what I've been told. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, yeah, no one wants to not like Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man is really all people would care to see. I mean,
Yeah,
the
and
others would be
Universal
cool,
has
but
those.
Universal has those.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Disney World doesn't really do stuff with Marvel. They're really big in Star Wars. Hollywood Studios is like Star Wars land practically. That's like what it runs on.
Hmm. Okay, so they could just hide some kind of a I don't know, what kind of a cultish ritual could they do in a in a in a ride somewhere?
in the Haunted Mansion. Let's
Do they
see.
have in the Haunted Mansion? Is that the one that has like the giant elevator that holds like
No, that's Tower of Terror. That's in Hollywood Studios.
No. There's one in Disneyland. They might not have it at Disney World, but it is a Haunted Mansion thing. It might be called the Haunted Mansion, but you go in and it's a giant elevator. Like 25 people can be in the elevator at once. Maybe more than that. It's probably more than that.
Are you standing?
What? Yes, no, everyone's
Do you
standing.
stand?
You literally walk in.
Okay, it is It is Haunted Mansion.
It's before you get on the ride.
And then
It's like
lower.
part of the ride, but it's before you
Yeah.
get on the ride.
It's Haunted Mansion. Yeah, they have it at both parks.
Uh-huh.
Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So that one as well.
But they could do something in that elevator. I don't know.
That's true.
So what if like a creature escaped? Who's like a really unknown, not an unknown, but just not that popular Disney character that we could make super popular with this movie? That could like escape.
Now
from
Disney's like, okay.
that could escape from
like,
the
I'm
Disney
listening.
dungeon. Like what's like a lesser known Disney movie that's still good?
I'm trying to think of an animated one.
No, that's what I'm kind of looking for. I mean Atlantis, but who was in Atlantis?
And they don't have anyone walking around the thing is Atlantis. It could be though.
Yeah, because that movie for some reason
what I
wasn't
mean.
very successful, even though it was pretty good, relatively.
Oh yeah,
like,
that and Treasure Planet.
Both were both
everyone
good.
says now that that were both good that just didn't get respected when they came out.
Let me just look up. I'll look up on my laptop. Just lesser known Disney characters. I was thinking, I kind of want Roger Rabbit to be in this movie, but he's not Disney. Do you know Roger Rabbit?
I do. That would be a great one to escape. If Roger Rabbit was owned by Disney.
In case Roger is such a fun person to just like the way he talks and the. Oh my word, Pluto Jr. is a thing.
Yeah.
Amelia Fieldmouse, Penny and Glory B, Madeline Mouse. Most underrated, that's what we want. Yo, Powerline from the Goofy movie. You know Powerline? He was the singer that was doing the concert.
Powerline escapes.
Yo, I would love Powerline to be in this. I want Powerline to be in this movie.
That's it. I say that's what we do. I say we do Powerline. That would be amazing.
Oh, God, that's so funny.
They're like, Powerline?
Some people don't even recognize. Goofy movie is a great movie, by the way. That's like a super underrated Disney movie.
It is.
The Goofy movie and even the even goofier movie, which was the second one. Which the weird thing about the even goofier movie is like it was kind of like Max was older, but it's kind of like they just ignored that stuff from the first movie happened. It's like, oh, this is just a second story in this with these same characters. It was kind of weird. They kind of just forgot.
Yeah. It's still a good movie, but yeah, no, that's kind of true.
Like that whole movie was Max getting with Roxanne, and then the next movie Roxanne wasn't even in it. And then the stuff that Goofy and Max worked on together as like father and son, they just kind of forgot about.
Right.
And then they kind of had the same issues in the newer movie. Anyway. Powerline. So Powerline escapes. And she like sees like some people like kind of try like tackling him, trying to get him back, but he's getting away. And literally everyone, she's like, why is no one like looking at this? Like this is before the park is opened. Everyone's like, I don't know what they do. Do they set stuff up before the park opens? I mean, obviously that happens.
Yeah, they constantly have people there. Like one of my friend's jobs is actually landscape. And so his job is 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. And he does the landscaping for Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
So when you showed up for this internship, you could have gotten any job. Like he just randomly got like landscaping.
No, he wants to go into landscaping.
Oh, he wanted to.
That. And so
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That one's specific. There's only like 10 people in this entire program that could do that. And he asked them to do that.
Okay, so this is before the park's open and everyone's doing stuff. And she's like Powerline is being tackled and being taken out. And everyone is just like working like nothing's happening. And she's like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah. And then she's like, is that
Powerline?
Powerline? What is he?
and it could be animated because I feel like Who Framed Roger Rabbit is like one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. It was like one of the first ones that did the animation and they filmed it in a way that they don't do anymore. Like when they do movies that are animation and live action at the same time, they don't do them in the same way. But like, so okay, I wanted to be like a kind of a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type movie with the animation and so Powerline would be animated. He wouldn't be a
where the animation is still kind of 2D inside of a 3D world.
Yeah.
It's not like the
and
new
they,
Space
and,
Jam
and
where
he
it's like all
they
of them
like
are
but they
3D
interact
characters,
with
you know what I
real
mean?
world objects. You need to watch
Yeah.
a behind the scenes of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That is, as a filmmaker, because you want to be a filmmaker like me.
Yeah.
That you should look into that because it's one of the coolest films,
I will.
in my opinion. Anyway,
What time are we at?
we're at 55 minutes. We're almost done. We
Okay.
mostly were just talking about Disney World this whole time.
Yeah, just kind of talking about this. But Powerline escapes. And I would say that like he sees them tackling and she just kind of like someone comes over and be like, there's nothing to see here, go back to work. And he's like, what? And they're like, just leave. And like she could come back to her apartment and Powerline is like there. Like he escapes the captures, but he sees that she was different, like because she was trying to do something, found out where she lived, and then ended up at his apartment like, yo, this is like, and then that's where he's like, listen, this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have much time because we're going to end this podcast, but I kind of like the idea of just like Disney being the most evil company on the planet. But they put this facade of being So before we end the podcast, let's come up with one more creepy thing they do. So they have slaves that are all of their IPs that are actually real. They have they do cult-like rituals. What's like a third thing they can do? They just straight up steal from people all the time, like from their guests. I don't know.
That would be fun. How you get into the park is
or it's like a Percy Jackson, you know? Like you say your thing. You say your thing.
They scan their ticket, but then you have to put your fingerprint next to it.
They're just
a
data collecting
and they both
company.
turn green. Yeah, and it's like data collecting.
Gross. We hate that. Or it's like you know, in the Percy Jackson movie, well, and in the book, but they in the casino, people were there for forever and they couldn't leave.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize that they were stuck there forever. And so it wouldn't be quite like that, but it's just like these Disney adults are genuinely like, they're not Disney adults because they're just weirdos. No offense to my Disney adults. One of my Emily. But like the Disney adults are like literally like, it's not even their fault. They can't help but be a Disney adult because Disney like has them under their control.
Yeah.
And they do it by putting
like it.
subliminal messages in their movies or something.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like that. I like that idea of that kind of like Percy Jackson casino kind of thing, you know, where they like they don't even know they're doing it. You know what I
the movies, it's like all these movies actually suck when you're not being hypnotized. Like you put in like the VHS and it hypnotizes you and then the movie doesn't exist. Like if you missed the hypnotizing part, you would literally be just like people literally watching just a blank screen, like laughing at the same stuff together. Like that's kind of creepy to me.
Yeah.
Like
that is kind of creepy. I love that.
So it's like not just the Disney. So that would just tie into the fact that it's not just the Disney World or just the Disney Parks company that is evil. It's also the Disney Studios that makes the movie company that's also evil. Because they're kind of different companies.
And they're just coming together. Yeah.
Because you could kind of separate the movies from the parks in a lot of ways.
Yeah, right. So,
I keep fixing my hair by looking at my picture in this camera, but it's opposite. And so I go to do this and it does the opposite. Anyway, you can't even see
that's not where my hair is supposed to be.
So we're at an hour. I like this movie. I
like it too. I think it's
been
kind
good.
Of like
we hardly did anything, but I kind of like the concept. Yeah. It's been good to talk to you again.
Yo, I know it's been a while. It's been good.
Yeah, now that we're on regular schedules, I think we're going to be able to weekly do it again, which is exciting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Carter's been pretending to talk into his microphone the whole time, but he's actually not talking into it. Like you unplug your microphone. Like yeah, he can still talk.
Yeah, so
but next time
I forgot to get the cord. It will actually come through the microphone.
But next time it'll actually be using his microphone so he won't sound like he's on a phone call. But to be honest, it wasn't bad. It sounds fine.
Well, okay, good. I accidentally left the
It's
cord in my
bearable.
room,
It's
and so I just
bearable.
use this. I just like talking into this. I just think it's fun.
Hmm. So,
So yeah,
that's all for this episode. Go check out our other podcasts from Pointless Void Studios. We have Marvel Groupies, where Carter, I, and Callie, our co-host, talk about the Marvel movies. And we also own a podcast called Pixie Dusters, where two Disney adults and one more than the other talks about Disney movies and Disney everything. I don't know how she knows so much about Disney.
with
And
occasionally
then
us coming on to the show.
I'm going to be bringing back an old podcast called The Correct Opinion Zone with my co-host Dalen. So that'll also be on the Pointless Void Productions. You can go check out all of those podcasts. And if you would like to support us on Patreon, you can go do that as well. The video episodes and the audio episodes without ads will be on Patreon. So that's what you get for what you pay. And you can also just support us so we can continue to do this and make some cool movies and turn them into actual real life scripts and make some cool shows and movies out of it. So
Time.
that's all for this episode. Let's jump back into the void.